Thank you, Jacinda. Our opening words this morning are written by Jennifer Kitchen. Come, sit by our fire and let us share stories. Let me hear your tales of far-off lands, wanderer, and I will tell you of my travels. Share your experience of the holy with me, worshiper, and I will tell you of that which I find divine. Come and stay, lover of leaving, for ours is no caravan of despair, but of hope. We would hear your stories of grief and sorrow as readily as those of joy and laughter. For there is a time and a place and a hearing for all the stories of this world. Stories are the breath and word of the spirit of life, the power that we name love. Come, for our fire is warm and we have seats for all. Come again and yet again. Come speak to me of what fills your heart, what engages your mind, what resides in your soul. Come, let us worship together. The words for the chalice lighting are on the screen, and I will read, and I invite you to stay muted at home as we read together. We light this chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. May it remind us of the divine spark in all creation, the power of love to heal what is broken, and to be grateful for life's blessings each day. All right, Wendy and Carrie, I have the lyrics up. So Wendy and Carrie are going to sing, and the rest of us will be muted at home and singing along.
Come, come, wherever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Thank you. Okay. Our story this morning is called The Rabbit Listened by Corey Dorfeld, and it's been just slightly adapted by me. One day, Taylor decided to build something new, something special, something amazing. Taylor built an incredibly tall and detailed tower out of blocks. Taylor was so proud. But then, out of nowhere, things came crashing down and Taylor's tower fell to the floor. Chicken was the first to notice. Cluck, cluck, what a shame. I'm so sorry this happened. Let's talk about it. Cluck, cluck. But Taylor didn't feel like talking, so the chicken left. Next came the bear. Grar, roar, how horrible. I bet you feel so angry. Let's shout about it. Grar, roar, roar. But Taylor didn't feel like shouting, so the bear left. The elephant knew just what to do. Trumpada, I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly the way things were. But Taylor didn't feel like remembering, so the elephant also left. One by one they came. The hyena, hee hee hee, let's laugh about it. The turtle, gulp, let's hide and pretend nothing happened. The monkey, tisk tisk, what a mess, let's throw it all away. The snake, shh, let's go knock down someone else's. But Taylor didn't feel like doing anything with anybody. So eventually they all left until Taylor was all alone. In the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit, but it moved closer and closer until Taylor could feel its warm body. Together they sat in silence until Taylor said, "Please stay with me." The rabbit listened. The rabbit listened as Taylor talked. The rabbit listened as Taylor shouted. The rabbit listened as Taylor remembered and laughed. The rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to hide, to throw everything away, to ruin things for someone else. Through it all, the rabbit never left. And when the time was right, the rabbit listened to Taylor's plan to build again. "I can't wait," Taylor said. "It's going to be amazing." And with that, our story is told. This is the time in our service when we have the invitation to the offering. So for free church members, if you regularly send in a pledge, please remember to continue doing so. We really need your support to sustain the community when we are physically apart and we're still making repairs to our building and grounds. Each month, we take a hope collection to share with a neighbor organization doing good work to help others in the larger community. Our February hope collection goes to the Bellingham YWCA. The YWCA provides emergency and temporary housing for single women. They are on a mission to help eliminate racism and empower women. Their boutique provides free clothing for low-income women who are starting again, returning to work or school, or just need replacement clothing. We have something new in Blaine where you can make a PayPal donation, and if you're donating to the Hope Collection, write a note in your PayPal donation. There's a box there to write a note that it is for the Hope Collection. And please know that 2-point-something% of what you donate goes to PayPal. Doesn't all go to the church. All right, and Jacinda will play our offertory music. And now we have a reading. It is written by Erica Hewitt. Vicki, are you ready?
I don't have anything to say.
Well, I do, but it might not be interesting to anyone.
I have secrets inside of me and struggles, and I don't know if I'm ready to share them.
I want to hear what you have to say.
I want to speak of the deepest things together.
I want to hear what you dream about, what you hope for.
I want to know how you have come to arrive at this meeting point along your journey.
What if I speak and you don't understand me?
I will listen and listen again until my hearing becomes understanding.
What if I can't find the words to share the world inside of me?
I believe that wise words will emerge from you.
How can I trust you to hold my life stories? You who I may not even know.
By knowing that as I receive part of your story, I will give you part of mine.
How will this work? What will happen? What awaits us?
We can find out anything by beginning.
Let us begin to listen and trust and to know one another more deeply. At this time, you are invited to join in another hymn, and we will take another moment of reverent pause while I find the right screen to share. The rabbit listened. Other animals offered advice, asked Taylor to talk about it, talked about how they felt about the situation, and more. But the rabbit listened. And when Rabbit listened, Taylor opened up and shared the story of what had happened to the block tower. As Taylor shared the story, Taylor felt sad and angry and happy. All the feelings of the experience of building the block tower and seeing it crash down. At the end of the story, Taylor smiled. Taylor had a plan to build again, and it was going to be amazing. When we tell the stories about challenges and painful experiences we've faced in life, and someone listens with a loving heart, without giving advice, without judgment, we can start to heal the pain of those experiences. Maya Angelou writes in I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. Listening with care is so important because it allows people to release the pain of an untold story that lives inside of them. The Quaker author Parker Palmer says, if we want to support each other's inner lives, we must remember a simple truth. The human soul does not want to be fixed. It wants simply to be seen and heard. Telling one's story to a person who truly listens with love can bring comfort and healing. One of the ways this happens in Unitarian Universalist congregations is when ministers, chaplains, and lay pastoral care associates listen to the stories of congregants who are going through challenging times. In a class that I'm taking right now about spiritual care for congregational leaders, I'm really struck by how one of the teachers, Lauren Wyeth, describes the job of a spiritual caregiver. She said their goal is to be a witness and a companion to another person as they tell their story. Pastoral caregivers, ministers, and chaplains invite a space where difficult stories can be told, witnessed, and held in love. The pastoral care relationship creates a safe container where a person can experience difficult emotions and know that they are not alone with those emotions. We help people tell their stories because that helps people move through the difficult emotions of pain, grief, despair, and anger. In time, we trust that the storyteller will once again experience deep peace and deep joy. Another way listening happens in Unitarian Universalist congregations is through small group ministry. There's a book entitled Heart to Heart 14 Gatherings for Reflection and Sharing, written by Christine Robinson and Alicia Hawkins. It's a handbook for starting and leading a small group ministry program in a congregation. In small group ministry, participants meet on a regular basis to check in about how their lives are going and share their thoughts on topics that have universal human significance. These groups provide space for members to share from the heart and listen deeply. At Free Church, we call our group Life Journey. At Buckman Bridge, we call these groups Chalice Circles. In the book Heart to Heart, the authors talk about how they came to write the book and how they view the power of small group ministry. Here's what they say. We realized that most people are unpracticed at deep sharing and supportive listening. We also realized that support groups and discussion groups often don't fulfill their potential of being safe places for deep sharing. We wanted participants to share deeply and listen with open hearts to the wisdom of others. And we wanted the leader to have the same rich experience that the participants did. The author describes how participants responded to the program. They write, the participants in our first year's groups told us over and over that they had never before had the opportunity to talk about their thoughts and feelings on deeply personal subjects or to hear others share heart to heart. They told us that the experience of feeling truly listened to was so close to feeling loved that they could hardly tell the difference. They told us that when they took what they had learned about listening into the other parts of their lives were better. Small group ministry is a place where we are invited to tell the stories of our lives. We share the joys and the celebrations, the pain and the heartbreak. It is a place where we witness stories with love and compassion. As I was getting ready for this service, I kept wondering why telling stories is such a powerful thing. Why does it feel so healing to tell a story to another person and have them hold that story with love? So I read a few things, and the answer that resonates the most for me right now is that if I've experienced something painful, when I tell that story, I'm able to experience that pain in a safe container, and I'm able to release those feelings and move through them. In a book entitled Healing Through the Dark Emotions, The Wisdom of Grief, Fear, and Despair, the psychotherapist Miriam Greenspan offers some insight into why telling stories is so powerful. She explains that by embracing difficult emotions, we can find healing and transformation after difficult losses. This is what she says about the difficult emotions. The dark emotions can be our best, albeit most demanding spiritual teachers when we can get beyond the compulsion to control them. By learning how to attend to, befriend, and surrender to the energies of grief, despair, and fear, we create the conditions for something new to arise in ourselves and in the world. We discover an unexpected gateway to healing and transformation. We release ourselves from the strangled grip of pain into an amazing alchemy by which grief, despair, and fear are transmuted into gratitude, faith, and love. Gratitude, faith, and joy is the last one. She explains that an important part of befriending difficult emotions is being able to tell one's story to someone who's a good listener. What a person who is in pain needs most is a person who is willing to sit with them, to be present, and witness their story. Having spaces where people really listen is so important because it allows people to go through all of the frightening emotions that they're experiencing. When we are able to engage with those emotions in a healthy way, we can once again move towards peace and joy. Now, her book describes a process that is very long and very hard, and her book is 314 pages. So I don't want to gloss over how complicated and long a process this is. It's much more than I can cover in this sermon, but I do want to lift up the part that it is valuable to experience the fullness of our emotional landscape. When we create spaces in our congregations where people can tell their stories and have those stories witnessed in love, we are helping each other in an ongoing process of experiencing our emotional landscape in a healthy way. My hope for you is that you find the places in your life where your story is held as sacred and worthy. Like Taylor, I hope you can find the rabbit who listens so that you can be ready for your next amazing adventure. May you experience being truly listened to in a way that supports you on your journey towards peace and wholeness. May you listen to others with an open mind and an open heart. May our congregations be places where we see our faces in each other's words. May telling our stories and listening to stories help us bring about healing in our hearts and healing in the wider world. May it be so. And amen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And I have closing words to share. They are written by Barbara Hamilton Hallway. Go now in peace, deeply regard each other, truly listen to each other, Speak what each of you must speak. Be ready in any moment to disarm your own heart, and always live as if a realm of love had begun. So be it. Blessed be. And now, here in Blaine, we sing a closing song. So I will sing it. I will share the lyrics. I will sing it, and I invite you to sing along at home. It's Carry the Flame of Peace and Love. And we'll put our hands in the air or hold hands if you are with people in your space. All right, share screen. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Thank you so much, everyone. Wow, what a wonderful, wonderful service.